Hello, guys. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to you, wherever you're watching me from. This is still Jane Say Matters with Roy. Happy weekend, and I'm very happy to welcome you once again to your favorite YouTube channel, Jane Say Matters with Roy, a place where you can learn, relearn, and unlearn from different aspects of life. Oh, thank God, our guests for today are here already. Okay. Oh, oh. Yeah. I'm so happy to welcome everyone to today's conversation. And uh if you've been following us for some weeks now, we started this marriage series before. We've discussed some topics before you meet the person you're going to get married, before you say yes to the person. Few things you need to discuss even just before the wedding ceremony, then after the wedding ceremony. And then we started some topics few weeks ago. The last time we had career conflicts in marriage, and today is a continuation, although we have a new topic for today that we shall be looking into, which is financial conflicts in marriage. I'm really very excited for today's conversation because this is one of the key things that causes conflicts in marriage. And I'm so happy that our guests for today are they are also around. They've really been a great support to this channel, sharing their experiences with us. And seriously, it's been a very interesting one. And trust me, I believe God today that this today's discussion is going to be a very, very interesting and practical one as well. So let me just welcome our guest for today once again. Join me in welcoming Dr. and Dr. Mrs. Bolaji. Thank you very much, sir and ma, for always being available for us despite your tight schedules. Thank you so much. Can you
Uh,
hear me, sir?
yes, we can hear you clearly.
All right. Okay. Thank you
Good.
very much, sir and ma. We really, really appreciate your support and your availability anytime we reach out to you. Thank you so much. So, for people who will be watching you for the first time today, people who don't know who you are, and they would like to know your name and maybe a few things about you, briefly introduce yourself to us, and Ma.
Okay. Thank you. Let me start by saying my name is Fola Bolaji, and this is my wife, Bumi. We both live in New York, and we are from Nigeria. We are both computer specialists. I'm a computer engineer, and she's a data scientist. And we are doing fine. We are children of God. We are growing in the Lord. We are learning, and we are happy to share with you. Happy to interact with our friends here. Thank you
Th-
so much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, Ma. I'm super excited for today's for today's conversation. Last week, no, 2 weeks ago, when we had the last conversation on career conflict in marriage, wow, 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 it was really a loaded one with series of questions. So today's discussion, which is one of the major causes of conflict in marriage. Wow, I trust God that today's conversation is going to be an interesting one as well. So without wasting much of our time, let's just dive into the discussion right away. So Sarah and Ma, we all know that finance, even outside marriage, is something that causes conflict easily, even amidst friends. Anything finance, anything wherever finance has to show up. Oh my God! If one is not careful, it's always bringing conflicts. So now the focus of our discussion is the conflict, financial conflicts, looking at the marriage perspective between couples, how finances causes conflicts in marriages. Some are of the opinion that, okay, some are of the opinion that, okay, we should have a common purse. Some have the opinion, no, I'm earning my money, you earn your money. Possibly we have a particular percentage. Okay, you handle this particular aspect of the bills while I settle this other aspect of the bills. Different issues in different homes. But the main thing is why finance is always causing conflict, and how these conflicts can be resolved amicably among couples. So I believe as the conversation goes on, we'll have more questions to deliberate on. So let me hand over to you, Sai and Ma.
Okay, you want to start? Yeah, this is a very important topic, and it affects everything that has to do with the family. Yoruba has an adage that when there is hunger, another matter cannot come in.
At all.
And when there are not financial provision, the family will suffer a lot.
Mm,
Two people are not joining together to suffer. They are joining together to make their lives better. Ecclesiastes 4 says that two are better than one. Ecclesiastes 4, 9, 10, and like that. Two are better than one. He said because they have a good reward for their efforts.
mm,
They will have joint reward. So if I'm getting married to somebody, I'm not marrying because I want to have her as a body. She's not marrying me because she needs an extra burden in her life. We are getting married so that there can be what is called multipliers effects. We are getting married that, okay, when we share idea, when we join resources, then we can be blessed. We can have more blessings, and that blessings contain financial resources.
mm,
So the relationship of two people should bring profits, not deficits, not losses. It should bring happiness, not endurance and struggling. So if you are getting into a relationship with somebody, that is not going to be the basis, but it should be part of the consideration. Is this person going to add to my life or going to reduce my life? Am I going to add to this person or am I going to reduce from him or her? So those are the things that should be considered. If you are thinking of marrying as a lady, be thinking about what do I have on the table to bring into this home that I want to make. As a man, what do I have on the table? So there has to be a kind of similar mindset concerning finances. So now, if both are bringing things to the table, one person may be bringing 60%, another 40%, maybe somebody is even bringing 80%, and another person is bringing
20.
20%. There should still be an agreement that since we are coming together to pull these resources together, then we should be able to manage these resources together. So I will start from personal thoughts and things I've seen from personal experiences, and I will ask my wife to also join in that discourse and add whatsoever she wants to join. So actually, for anybody that want to go into a marriage, especially Christian home, there are basic principles that are very important. I would like to refer us to Luke chapter 12, verse 15, where Jesus was saying, the life of a man, he said, be careful of greed. Watch out for greed. Take heed about greed. He says, the life of a man does not consist in the abundance of his possession. So your life is not about how much you are earning. Your life is not about how many houses you have built. Your life is not about how many cars that you are riding. Your life is not in the abundance of your possession. Your life is not even about how many children you have. Careful about what is controlling you, about the motivating factor. Some people will decide that I want to marry somebody because of, oh, he's buoyant, he's rich, he studied good course, oh, he's an engineer, he's a medical doctor, that will be money. So when they get into that relationship and discover that the money is not flowing like they think, then there will be problem. Then they now begin to think, when I used to have this boy in my class, he came from a rich family, I could have settled for him. Then the mind begins to wander. Some other guys will have married some ladies with that mindset too. That, oh, she's this, she's that. I think I should be able to get more money. When the money is not flowing, then there is problem. So some people have married as a result of greed, wanting something for themselves, going into that relationship as a basis of what will I get in terms of financial resources and some other things. So, but what I'm trying to say is, for us as believer, husband and wife, first take out greed. When there is no greed, when it's not about me, then it will be easy to be able to manage financial resources. It will be easy to say, whatsoever you are bringing, whatsoever I'm contributing, then two of us have equal control over it. There are some practical issues that we'll be talking about in terms of joint powers, giving to people, managing this and that. But let me also ask my wife to say one or two things before we continue.
Okay, thank you. I was trying in a little bit, in a way, trying to think about how we can direct the course of this conversation such that we will be going from point A to point B, and not that we will go to C, come back to A, come back to B, and stuff like that. So I think that, as you were saying, this conversation is majorly focused on Christians, people who have known the Lord, people who have accepted Jesus as their Lord and Savior. Kind of somebody who have said that Jesus is my Lord now. You have yielded the ownership of your life to God. And so we don't expect greed to be part of it, but greed exists. Like, people have given their lives to Christ. They are genuine Christians. They are not faking it. Just that they are not broken. Like, that part of their life are just not being dealt with in a way. And I would say that it's a common occurrence that we have been seeing in several things that we have been talking about, and that is the fact that we pick up money lessons from our parents. We inherit some of these money attitudes, we learn some of these money lessons, and we enter into adulthood with it without really recognizing the reason why we are doing what we are doing. So, for example, um, if in my parents' marriage, I've seen my mom work so hard, um, work a lot with my mom, built their empire together, and suddenly my dad comes home with one young lady that is now tapping enough to spend money for him. And all I hear from my mom, or consistently hear from her, or from other sympathizers and people that she surrounds herself with, is, you have your own. You must keep your own. Like, you can't share everything with your husband. Whether I like it or not, experience has taught me, or things that I've seen and I've heard consistently have taught me, that in marriage you don't give everything to the relationship. And so, if I enter into marriage and my husband is beginning to talk about common purse, that may be a case of no, 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 let us not go there at all. And um, that is just an example of a situation of things that I can say will lead to problem. Or, for example, I have a good money attitude and we are entering into this marriage, but I don't know that my husband has been in a serious debt, or now we are talking about our finances and he has debts, like he has this cooperative loan somewhere, or school loan, or stuff like that, which is a lot to deal with. Now, how do we do common purse with that? Like, how do we reconcile that? Or, I'm married to a spender who thinks written on money is spending. Like, the mindset is money is for
Must be
spending.
spent.
So what else do you use money for? Like if it is not spent. And I am coming with the attitude of you save for tomorrow. Then, and it's funny that they always say, I read it somewhere that, and it's common, I see it, that people with different money personalities usually get married. Like you see the spender getting married to saver, or the risk taker getting married to the non-risk taker. Like, so of course that already suggests that there will be reasons for us to really talk about it, because we are possibly people who don't have the same exact same mindset about money. But like Brofola said, if greed is out of it, if God has dealt with us to a level that we can deal with ourselves, then there is no financial issues that I think we cannot talk through in marriage. Like if it is not just about me and me and me, then what is there not to talk about and deal with in marriage? So I think we should continue to go on that lesson.
Okay. So
All
so
right.
let's okay. Let me allow the moderator to lead to the.
Okay. So, like, we've like you've both shared with us, there are different reasons for which people have conflicts financially in their marriages. For example, okay, the husband is working, the wife is not working, and then the husband begins to complain, "Oh, I'm the only one bringing money into this home. You are not doing anything." And here is a wife that maybe from our own background, it's always been the father that does the working. The wife is always at home. So in a situation like that, of course, there will be conflicts. And another another issue is, for example, the wife is earning much more than the husband, and the husband will always want, okay, after all, I'm the man in this house. And if he begins to feel inferior, why will you earn more than me? Can you just step down? Can you step down? So different different cases of couples, different reasons, different instances where couples fight just because of finance in their marriages. So I think maybe we can start with the issue of the husband working and the wife not working. Now the husband is complaining, I'm the one working. Can't you just work and bring something to the table as well?
So let me start with my opinion about that.
All right, sir.
The
Sorry, I want to add the dynamics to it. The wife is the one working, and the husband is the one working, like in both ways.
okay. So let's go in this way. Now, the husband has a paying job, a job that is bringing wages or salary, or a business that is bringing money into the house. There may be two reasons why the wife is not having such job. Maybe it's a joint agreement. Wife, don't do that. Just be taking care of my kids and be reading and be upgrading yourself. The other reason may be that okay, they said you also try to get job and the wife has not gotten a job. So there may be two dimensions. So, but no matter or the regardless of what the situation is, I don't think we are talking about a wife that will sit down back at home watching TV, chatting on social media, not wanting to do anything. So we are not, I don't think we are talking about that kind of wife or that kind of partner that is lazy, that does not want to do anything. So if it is circumstantial, like they are both agreed that okay, you don't need to work, or they are both agreed that you have to work and they are still looking for job and the wife has not gotten a job, that is a different perspective. So now, one thing I want us to first understand is no matter which ladder, which side of the pendulum we fall, maybe the husband is not working or is not getting a paying job yet and the wife is getting it, the main thing is having the same mindset, same understanding That anybody that still has ways of bringing this income is bringing the income into the family. Now, I will now bring in the biblical perspective. Number one, as a man, I see it as my responsibility to feed my family. I see it as a responsibility to feed my kids. I see it as a responsibility to take care of my wife. If taking care of my wife means to accommodate her and
Oh, wow. Think we lost them. All right, guys. So if you're just joining us on the conversation, today we are talking on financial conflicts in marriage. We're talking on financial conflicts in marriage, instances where the husband is working, the wife is not working, and little things that can make couples like have disagreements in their marriages regarding their finance. And there are so many scenarios like the husband working. Oh, thank God you're back. Okay. Welcome back, sir and ma. Oh, ah, oh, what's happening? Can you hear me, sir? All right.
yes, we
Okay.
can hear you. Okay.
Okay.
Now,
Welcome back, sir.
so so the concept of the wife not working, we need to get it clear, and we should understand a man is responsible to take care of his family. A man is first of all responsible to take care of his kid and his wife. It's very, very important to know that. But then, if you are not talking about people that have grown up, mature, they are reasoning alike, and things like that, then financial resources that anybody is bringing in is for both of them. Both of them. If the man is not thinking about starting another family somewhere secretly, or if you are not thinking about having some other separate wife or kid somewhere else, why do you need to keep money away from your family? If a woman is not thinking about, oh, I'm planning to divorce in the next 10 years, why do you need to have something as a separate saving for yourself alone? That does not, that is not marriage. That is two people living together, coexisting together. They are not joining their minds. So now another side, and I may want to bring to it, is the side of the background that you talk about. Some people has been used to the father always giving the mom, take this money, go and buy things in the store, so the mom cannot do anything until the father gives them money. That is the background. Some people have grown in a situation whereby the husband and the wife, they both, the mom and dad, has equal access to money. So if people that are coming from different backgrounds get married, then there may be problem. So one of those things to do is to sit down and agree, how do we want to conduct our own affair? Do we want to run it like your home parent, or do we want to run it like my own parent, or do we want to even deviate from the two examples and calculate the formula that will work for us? Like my wife was saying, some may be spenders. You saw this thing, you buy. You see this thing, you buy. You see this thing, you buy. Whether it's useful or it's not useful. Then the other one that is not the spender will now begin to calculate a way to be keeping some things back, maybe for school fee, not even secretly. Okay, let's begin to separate this money. This is the plan. Let's agree
Now
on the plan.
budget.
Then the budget. If you want to buy, make sure I'm not stopping you from buying. But let's agree that 20% of our income will go to that you're buying. So that that will not be a conflict. It will not be as if before I marry you, I've been buying. So why do you want that kind of thing? So there will be a kind of agreement. Let's budget it. Let's agree that okay, if you are used to buying, I'm not stopping you, but let's limit it to this so that it will not affect this. So that is, there is a place of agreement, discussion, and agreeing on this thing. rather than living a secret life that you are keeping something you don't want the husband to know. She's keeping something, he's keeping something he doesn't want the wife to know. That is not nice in terms of marriage.
Okay.
Thank you very
The
much, sir.
Okay, the little addition I would just make is in a situation where one partner is not working and the other is earning money. I think is like we always say, number one solution to most problem is communication. Like talking about what the real problem is. Like a situation of some women who are working, like I'm the one earning the paycheck, but I'm coming home in the evening and my husband still expect that I cook the food, I set the table, and it's like for crying out loud, you have been inside since morning or something like that. Or the husband is in a situation where he has gone out to work and he comes home and it's as if, like they always say, that don't let a woman know you have money, because it is when the husband says, "Oh, they have paid our salary today," or something like that. And the woman, "Oh, we need this, we need that one, we need to buy this." And the husband is like, "For crying out loud, we can't be spending all the money like this and stuff like that." But I think talking about it is first of all the most important thing, because it could be that the wife's complaint or this agitation about the financial pressure is actually because of stress. Like sometimes the real problem is not the
Mhm.
the problem we're actually talking about. Like it's a common thing, and as we grow in understanding of one another, we get to understand better what the problem is. Like somebody is just complaining, say how you are eating, say how you are talking, say, but it's actually just that she needs to sleep before attending to something else. And once one has identified that, and then the problem is absorbed. In some situations, it might be a fear of the unknown. Somebody is just under the fear of, will this money continue to flow? What if we have a problem? What if my husband has a problem? Because we are talking about situation of the person working, complaining, but there are also situations where it is the partner that is actually not earning a lot that is complaining much more, because the person is feeling like
Insecurity.
insecurity, like, hey, this one that is only my husband that is making the money, or situations like that. So it's also important to understand that it might be because of a particular fear, and addressing that fear will solve that problem automatically. Now, when Buffalo was talking, he removed a particular category of people, which I think that can happen in Christian marriage. It can be some people's reality, which is a situation where the wife just doesn't want to work, or the husband just doesn't want
As
to
I
work.
mentioned,
Yes,
sleep.
yeah, you said that you are not talking about those people. That is what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
you separated them. Like it is not an ideal situation. But some people actually have that reality. For example, a man may not want to work because he doesn't like the job he was doing. Or let me give an example. He tried the first job, they sacked him. Second job, they sacked him. Third job, they sacked him. He's been having series of quitting a job without respect. And so he has a psychological
Trauma.
problem, trauma that he's dealing with. But on the surface, he's just appearing to his wife as if, I don't want to work. I'm not doing any work again. Or that, and it's like you are just lazy. You, how will a man be comfortable sitting down at home from morning till evening? But the real thing is actually that this man has a psychological trauma that he's supposed to deal with, or a personality problem that needs to be addressed. So if you find yourself in that situation where your partner is lazy, it may be the normal lazy, or a lazy that is an output of
A problem
a problem or
that
an
has to be
experience
addressed.
that is pushing forth as lazy, but it's not actually that that person is lazy. I think you need counseling for that. You need to talk to others. Like, um, I know that we've also had situations or people talking to us, not about financial issues now, but somebody telling you something about your friend. Your friend is not this kind of person, and you are like, no, well, the person I knew for 30 years is not that. Like, there may be a situation that something has gone wrong
Wrong.
somewhere and needs to be addressed. So sometimes it is beyond what the two of you can manage by talking under the roof. You might need an external person to intervene.
Yeah. Like
Mm.
we mentioned the other time, every relationship needs mentor. You still need to have people that are more elderly that can counsel you, not command you, but can counsel you. Like, oh, why don't you see it from this angle? So that it will not be as if she's always insisting on her own, or he's always insisting on his own. No. Financial issue is a very sensitive issue. And if the husband and wife can agree on it, they will have very little problems when it comes to handling resources. I cannot even remember when, I don't think so. I don't think we have ever had any problem about money. I need money, I didn't have money, or you did this with the money, or something of that nature. Because number one, the Bible talks about moderacy in heaven. So we are both moderates. When we do things, it's not as if we want to go flamboyant and we want everybody to know that this money is here. That kind of, it's not as if the little we have, we want to show it as if it's much more than that. So it's not as if my wife just want to prove to some people that I want to buy Bugatti. And because, so when all those things are dealt with and you are moderate in your mindset and in your thinking, you are not likely to be having issues about money. Then another thing is there are some over conservative people. Conservatism is good, but don't be over conservative. Like I remember there are situations while we were back in Nigeria and some people want to quickly leave. They want to go out of rental apartment to their own house. So, and there are councils, there are guidance around that and things like that. So many people were suffering because they want to quickly build their house. Their children are not well fed. Maybe they need to buy clothes they didn't buy, they need to buy shoes they didn't buy, and things like that. Maybe they even need to go for extra degrees. They didn't do it because of what? Ah, if I pay this 100,000 as school fee, how many blocks can I buy? That will many blocks. They are calculating based on number of cement and blocks. We did the opposite.
Mm.
Myself and my wife sat down. Okay, if we want to build house now, and a house that will be in our taste, not that we build house and we will not concrete, the floor will not be concrete, we'll be working on soil inside the house. We don't want that kind of thing. We don't want to a station that we will roof one side and we leave the other side unroofed. We don't want that kind of thing. We are not, we believe that we are educated enough to know what we want and what is good for us. So we calculated it that based on our income and taking care of the family, if we want to build a house, we may need this, we are talking about millions. So we may need to raise money over the next 5, 10 years to be able to build a house that will be to our taste. Then we just calculated that. So what do we do then? Look for one of the best houses that is for renter. It could be expensive, but look for it. Look for the best, the taste. That when you know that when you build your house, it will be around that taste. So we went for the most one of the most expensive houses in our environment that is for renter. We are paying high money on it, paying good money, but it has all the resources we want. It has a compound, fenced compound where our kids can play. It has borehole, it's beautiful. You can't get there and feel like these people are struggling, they are suffering, and all those kind of things. We did that. When we did that, the money that we should have been saying, oh, let's save this to be buying block, then we are investing it on our education, further degree, and things like that. So what I'm trying to say is planning is very important, agreeing together on how you want to conduct yourself in terms of finances and how you want to relate with one another in terms of finances. When you have that agreement, then many things are easier.
Wow. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, Ma. So, like Sister Bumi was saying the other time about the issue of the husband not working, and there is a reason for it. How about a wife who is not working? The husband is working, but the money the husband is earning is not enough to cater for the needs of the family, and the husband wants the wife to be working. He wants her to work. But here is the wife not qualified enough to get a good job for herself. And, you know, when a guy doesn't have enough money to run the family, then there is definitely going to be a conflict, because I understand the fact that guys are always thinking, how do I meet the needs of my family and the likes? And when it's like, oh, it's not coming forth, they're not meeting up to to their expectation, then the quarrel begins. So in a situation like that, how can the wife be advised, or what will you uh tell, or like how will you cancel such a family like that?
Should I go? Okay. So, in my own opinion, number one thing that, like we have mentioned, is discussion, communication, and agreement. There is nothing that cannot change. There is nobody that cannot improve. If you know that what the husband is bringing in is little and it cannot take care of the family, the next thing is to sit down and calculate what is the next step we can take. Madam, can you work? Yes, I can work. By my qualifications, I'm not okay. Let's now begin to work on your qualification. If it will take you 2 years, 4 years, or 5 years to go for extra studies, then we may need to cut our spendings during those years. We may know that we are investing for a better life in the future. And if madam says, "Oh, I don't want to go to school, I don't want to study," then you call them mentors. You call them people that can evaluate the situation and advise and counsel the wife that if you want, because the reality that is, Lamentations chapter 3 says, "It is good for a man to bear his yoke in the day of his youth."
Mm.
When you are young, you have the ability to be able to improve on yourself. And if you don't do it at that time, it may be late, it may be too late at a later time. One thing that we need to understand is when you marry, responsibilities continue to grow. When you give birth to a baby, then another baby, then another baby, then they begin to go to school, you need to pay school fee, you need to buy clothes, and then you continue to grow. And that is the reason why parents also need to grow in terms of their income capability. You need to invest. Everybody need to work so that the future will be certain, first for yourselves and your children. But if it is that if somebody wants to sit back, then you need to get external collaborators that will make sure that senses are talked into the minds of that lady or woman or a man.
Wow.
Okay. Um, I I'm thinking of a situation where, which is very common though, if the husband leaves Nigeria on study, and the wife goes to join the husband on a student visa. That's a kind of a situation where the husband's money cannot actually sufficiently take care of the family, and the wife is probably under a visa circumstances not able to work.
That's
So
another side.
now, in that situation, the wife wants to work, but the visa status cannot allow her to work. Now, like Brofola said, I think, um, just we bring it back to communication. But he mentioned something that I want to draw our attention to again, and that is cutting down expenses. Now, um, the reason why the money he is making is not sufficient for the family is what we should identify, rather than start fighting over the circumstance. So let's look at it. Oh, we are paying for daycare, we are paying for this, we are paying for house rent and this and that, and the money I'm earning is not enough. Can the woman take up caregiving for the child and they withdraw the child from daycare? If that is going to save money, then the woman is already working. Like, she's just not earning a paycheck like her husband is doing. She's not going from morning to afternoon. Can she take up extra lesson for the kids that are in school in the afternoon instead of them paying for a resource elsewhere to handle that? And several other things. So it's about identifying what is the gap about. And if you are not under that kind of circumstance, you can go back to school. Then why not? it is just a sacrifice of a time.
Yeah.
The husband can also get another job. Like, all of this will be different from situation one situation to another. But I think the bottom line is we should not allow money, something that is fleeting, something that will pass away, to destroy what institution, a beautiful institution that God has given us. So identifying it, can we call down things like, for example, we used to make it a joke. Like, there was a time my husband was making it a joke that, don't you know how much you are saving us by not doing here and all of those things. Because recently I was watching a TV series, not a series like that, but a station in Nigeria that I tune in once in a while, like Your View, and they were talking about how much they are selling wig, and one of them was like, wig for 100,000, 200,000 naira. But actually, this is what people are buying, right? So if that is what I need to reduce, like if I need to cut down the number of wigs I have to one or two, because this time we are not making a lot, then I do it. If I need to do my manicure and pedicure myself, why not? So in that case, the wife may not be working, but she's saving, she's cutting down expenses for the family. So they are just, it's just about us talking together and identifying. But if it is a situation where you are not living the life you want because you are not able to, due to what you have control over, like getting more education, changing jobs, then go for it. Like, it shouldn't be something tough to
Mm.
go in for. And he gave an example of a situation of, if the wife now says, I don't want to go back to school, then ah
External,
yeah.
collaboration is
Mhm.
needed at that point.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you very much, sir and Ma, for those contributions. Okay, so we agree that if the wife doesn't want to work and the husband wants her to work, then there is need for an external body to step into the situation. Oh, that okay. Thank you very much for that. So now there are other instances where here is the husband working, and then he wants the wife to do something totally different from what the wife has been doing initially. And she is saying, oh, I am this, and you want me to do this. I don't want to do this. And the end goal of like, people are working. Why are they working? They are working to get money. They are working to be able to meet the needs of their immediate family. They are working to be able to support extended family members. They are working to prepare for their future. So the main reason for working is just to get money. And there is the husband, oh, I want you to do this. I want you to do this. And the wife is saying, oh, no, I don't want to do this. And this has always been a major conflict in the home. How do you get to talk to the husband that, oh, I don't want to do this? And this has always been a major cause, a major conflict in that home.
Yeah.
How, how can we help that kind of a family?
Yeah, so I think some of these things also may require external collaboration, having people to talk to both husband and wife. Now, the reality I want us to face is when you get married, you should think about the comfortability of your spouse, not just about you, but about the comfortability of the spouse. Okay, we have been in that situation before, but that situation did not lead to conflict for us. There have been my wife changing discipline, changing from what she studied for to be doing something else. Because I was like, oh, since you like this thing, should we give it a trial? And she was like, yes, we should. Okay, what about you learning this trade? She learned it and she discovered that that is not what she wanted to be doing. Though maybe she spent some money in learning it and trying to get some resources, and at the end of the day, that's not what she wanted. I should not be blaming her that we wasted a lot of money. We wasted. because there are some things that you don't even know what it takes until you get into them. So the reasonability of, is she fine with it, should come in, or is he fine with that kind of thing, should come in. You should put yourself in that other spouse's shoes. If you don't like something and you are being forced to do it, how fulfilled are you going to be? So if you are talking about a wife that is not lazy, if I'm saying my wife should try this and she's saying no, 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 I don't want to do it, the first question I need to ask is my wife smart? Yes. Is she lazy? No. If she's saying she doesn't want to do it, is it out of laziness? No. If it's not out of laziness, fine, she doesn't want to do it. If it's out of fear, then I may begin to step in then, well, God, yeah, let's just give it a try. If you try it, then we see how it works. So I can motivate her, because I'm saying that the reason is fear, out of fear that I don't know it, I don't want to be put to shame, or something of that, the fear of the unknown. But if it is not fear, if it is about our convenience, if it's about what our ability can handle, then I need to just stay away that, oh, she doesn't want to do it. Okay, let's leave it. If it's appealing to her, then she will pick it up. If it's not, and if it's not out of laziness, then we should not be worried about it.
Mm. Wow. Thank you very much, sir. Yes, ma.
The reason why I'm laughing is I was actually remembering a part of me. Now, so I want to use us as practical examples. We didn't have a situation where we had to be tooth and nail on things that we don't like, but I just want to bring an example out of opposites getting married. Now, my husband is a risk taker. He's an entrepreneur. I am not. I remember that my mom used to have shop where she sells something, and she knows automatically that once I'm the only one left in the shop, she cannot sell anything until she comes back. And the reason is because once I see somebody approaching the shop, I will go and lie under the table in our shop. So someone is saying, good afternoon, oh, how much is this thing? It is our neighbors, like other shops that will attend to that customer. I will go and hide because
So shy.
I was that shy. Like it is just not part of me. Like that. So if you ask me to read, do a job, render my service, and everybody walks away, I'm fine. But encouraging people to buy things like buy this from me is just not part of my makeup. Now, as we were talking, I was thinking of situations where people just have a form of hatred for their spouse's job because of ego. For example, he's a bank official. Everybody in the bank is, oh, what of your wife? Is, oh, he's doing well. She's working here. All the names, all the big names in the industries, that's what they are mentioning. But his own wife is a teacher in a primary school. So it becomes a situation of this is your teaching job. Money is not even coming. How much are they even paying you? All the money that they are even paying you, I can pay it in one day. All of those things. And the man is stylishly complaining about changing job. Like, why don't you do something else? Why can't you do something else? Now, sometimes it can be legitimate. There may be a reason to change that job. But if it is just about the man's ego, and that was one of the reasons I said that before, that we need to identify the root cause of a problem. Because if he didn't have problem with me before we got married, or when I first started the job as a teacher, like he was fine with, we were having a good family, then now he begins to complain about my job, then I should know that there's something else lurking behind that complaint, which we need to identify. And so for a situation where it is like ego or something like that, we need to talk about like how important is this? Is it an exhibition of low self-esteem on his part? Or is it that what I'm doing is actually
Impacting the
like
family negatively.
negatively? Or is it that he sees me better than I see myself? Maybe I'm thinking I don't deserve more than this position. But for him, the way he's looking at me, he believes I can achieve better than this. Like, you can do this, you can handle it. You that I know can do. So now, if you look at those three scenarios that I've brought out, in one scenario, it's about him. In another scenario, it's about me. In another scenario, it's about us, it's about our family. So we need to identify that and talk through it. And I will also say empathy is also important. We need to be able to empathize with one another. Like when we empathize with one another, because it can be a serious issue when you know that your spouse can achieve better than they are doing. Like she has more ability. She's just being lethargic by remaining where she is. Now, well, at some situations, can we move forward and just look away from that problem and still enjoy a good life? Because really, we have no second life. So we need to choose our battles. Is this something that important that we should have issues about every day? If it is not, just pack it aside and move on. But if it is something that we can address, then let us address it and just live our best life.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you very much, sir and Ma. Like Sister Me said about empathy. You know, some partners are not just they are not just so good at that aspect of being empathetic. What they want is what they want. Your wife is a teacher, and you get into the marriage. You said, "Oh no, I don't want it to be a teacher. I want it to be a banker." And the wife is like, "Banker, I don't want to do this. I wouldn't have time for the family. I'll be very busy. Why don't I just continue to be the teacher I've always been? This is what I love to do." And if you want your partner to do something, there is even a way you can present it such that the other person will not feel too bad or like you are forcing the person. Well, it has really been an interesting conversation, and this issue of money, this issue of finance, the husband, the wife especially wants to give money to the to our family members, and the husband is saying, "Oh no, I think we'll discuss this in our subsequent conversations." The issue of my money, your money. I think sometimes last year we had a discussion on this, but it was a recorded version. So maybe subsequent weeks we'll discuss something on this, like my money, your money. I want to give money to my family members. You want to give money to your own family members. And then the issue of agreeing together on whether a common purse or separate purses, or maybe it's going to be by percentage. Thank you so much, Sir and Ma, for joining us on the platform today. Just a few minutes before we bring today's conversation to a close, we'd like to have maybe uh just few words of advice, something to take home with for our viewers from today's discussion.
Okay. So the summary that I want to bring in is to talk about greediness and selfishness. For us, whether you're a woman or you're a man, think about, am I greedy? Am I only thinking about what works for me? Am I concerned about my spouse? Am I concerned about what makes her happy? As I'm making decision about my job, about the way finances are handled, is there an underlying thing that is making me to decide on what will favor me alone without general consideration for what is good for the family? So let's work on ourselves. Let us win over money. Let us win over money. And when we win over money, either your wife or your husband is any more, you will not be feeling threatened. And you will not be wanting, you will not want to be competing with one another that, let's say, you can bring more money in and things like that.
For me, I will emphasize the word contentment. We should learn to live with whether little or much. Like the Bible verse he read, a man's life does not consist in the abundance of what he has. It is not how much we have that determines who we are. So let us be content. Let us learn to live with little or much. Like when we have that peace, money issues will become very little to us. God will help us.
Amen. Yeah, I like that aspect of being content, not being greedy. When you're content, and the aspect of communication, this is what we have as a family. And this is, we are to handle this, we are to handle these bills. Can we cut this? Can we cut that? Oh my god. A lot to take home with, a lot to learn from today's conversation. So, to all our viewers out there, it's really been an interesting conversation today, and I believe strongly that you've also learned one or two things from the conversation today. And to our special guest, Dr. and Dr. Mrs. Bolaji, thank you very much, sir and ma, for your availability, always being there to share your experiences with us. Is Has been a very good and inspiring one. Really appreciate you. God bless you greatly, sir and ma. So, to all our
Thank
viewers out there, to come your way again, it's still Jinsei Matters. Wait, right? Stay motivated, be inspired, and see you in 2 weeks' time. Bye. Bye, everyone.